We all have the same 24 hours each day. Yet, how many of us spend those precious hours scrolling endlessly through our phones, lost in a blur of notifications and empty entertainment? It's so easy to fall into the trap. Hours melt away, and at the end, we're left feeling drained, stagnant, and unfulfilled. But imagine if you invested that time into something different. Imagine if your hobbies didn't just pass the time, but actually built you into someone stronger, more capable, and more alive. What if, instead of chasing fleeting distractions, you chose habits that transformed you from the inside out? Consider boxing or martial arts. These disciplines aren't simply about learning how to throw a punch or win a fight. They're about cultivating quiet confidence. Every session, every bead of sweat and every sore muscle teaches you resilience. You gain more than just physical strength. You develop the kind of calm assurance that shows in the way you carry yourself, the way you meet people's eyes, and the way you handle anything life throws at you. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you have the grit to stand your ground. Then, there's lifting weights. At first glance, it might seem like a pursuit for bodybuilders or athletes, but it's so much more. Lifting weights is a battle between you and yourself. Each time you step into the gym, you're forging discipline. The weights never get lighter, your mind just gets stronger. You learn to show up week after week, even on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. This is where you build an unshakable will, a mind that refuses to break under pressure. Over time, the discipline you develop with the barbell seeps into every part of your life. Reading is another transformative hobby, and it's not just about escaping into fantasy. When you read biographies, history, or books on strategy, you step into the shoes of those who came before you. You witness their struggles, their failures, and their victories. You absorb their lessons, their wisdom, and their courage. Every page you turn adds another layer of perspective and understanding. Reading opens your mind, sharpens your critical thinking, and gives you the tools to face your own battles. In a world full of noise, reading is how you filter out the distractions and focus on what truly matters. Cooking is a skill that goes far beyond preparing food. When you learn to cook, you claim independence. You no longer rely on takeout or someone else's schedule. There's a deep satisfaction in feeding yourself and others, in turning raw ingredients into something nourishing. Cooking is creativity, science, and art rolled into one. And there's nothing quite as attractive as someone who's confident in the kitchen, who can whip up a meal, and who understands the value of self-sufficiency. Playing an instrument is another hobby that reaches deep into your soul. Music demands patience. It forces you to slow down and listen. With every chord you learn, every note you play, you train your mind to focus and your heart to express emotion. One day you'll find yourself able to change the entire mood of a room with a single song. Music connects you to people, to cultures, and to feelings you might not even have words for. It teaches you creativity and persistence, and it reminds you that the most beautiful things in life are often the result of countless hours of quiet practice. There's something primal about being outdoors in the wild. Hiking, camping, and learning survival skills remind you of your roots. Out there, surrounded by trees and sky, you remember that you're built to endure. The challenges of nature, the cold, the fatigue, the unknown, strip away your comfort zone and reveal your resilience. You learn practical skills that could one day save your life, but more importantly, you reconnect with yourself. In the silence of the woods or the crackle of a campfire, you find clarity. Photography is the art of noticing. When you pick up a camera, you start to see details you'd otherwise overlook. The way light falls across a face, the fleeting expressions, the beauty in the ordinary. Photography sharpens your eye, your patience, and your appreciation for the world around you. And if you want a challenge that rewires your brain, try learning a new language. It's not just about memorizing vocabulary. It's about opening yourself to new ways of thinking, new cultures, and new connections. Suddenly, the world feels bigger, and so do you. Building something with your own hands, whether it's woodworking, crafting, or DIY projects, gives you a tangible sense of accomplishment. You learn patience, problem solving, and the satisfaction that comes from seeing a project through from start to finish. And then there's public speaking. For many, it's a terrifying prospect. But when you face that fear, when you stand up in front of a crowd and share your ideas, you destroy your fear of embarrassment. You learn to communicate, to persuade, and to inspire. These are skills that will serve you in every area of life. All of these hobbies have one thing in common. They transform you. They take the hours you'd otherwise waste and turn them into building blocks for a better, stronger, and more interesting you. Your time is your greatest currency. Don't spend it on what keeps you weak or stagnant. Choose even just 2 or 3 of these hobbies, and a year from now, you might not even recognize yourself in the best way possible. Every choice you make shapes your future. What you do with your free time matters far more than you think. So invest in yourself. Try something new. Push your limits. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just start. Bit by bit, you'll see the difference in your confidence, your skills, your mindset, and your life. If you found this message inspiring, consider sharing it with friends who need a push to try something new. And if you want more ideas on how to make the most of your time and become the best version of yourself, stay tuned for more content like this. Transformation begins with a single step. Make that step today and watch how it changes everything.